Yes.
Yeah, of course.
Already on cucumber drinks.
Okay.
So what I just randomly happened to see today was this is Wicked Weed Brewing Company.
Ooh,
Interesting name.
I like implications like that.
Yeah,
Like,
we are in Tennessee. We don't. I'm pretty sure there's no THC in this beer, but this is called Cool Cumber.
oh,
Cucumber.
Cool
cucumber.
Cumber. Golden ale brewed with cucumbers, basil, and juniper berries.
Juniper.
And juniper. Huh.
Summer in Carolina is a time when days grow long, life slows down, and friends draw near. Gardens burst with brisk basil and fresh cucumbers.
Are they being serious?
Fireflies, yeah. Fireflies illuminate the night sky, and warm days leave us lounging late, our glasses brimming with golden nectar. Summer in the South is best served cool.
Cool. Like a cool lumber. Wait, what is it? Cool cumber.
They're very serious. I should have got some mason jars to pour this into. I have one small glass,
Okay.
half of this for Patrick.
Well, thank you.
Pass
This
that
does look
over
like
to
a
him.
beer.
It does look like a beer.
Yeah, I was about to say, oh, how much alcohol's in there?
It's a 5.5.
Oh, it is. Oh, it is actually alcohol. Okay.
Interesting smell to it.
Yes, it does.
Are we live?
Yes.
Yeah, and record.
Yeah, I got the notification. I know it's up on YouTube.
Very smooth.
It is smooth.
Swallow.
Now, my experience has always been anything cucumber flavor doesn't really taste much like cucumber, right? Is that right? Am I thinking the right thing?
No,
Hard
We
soda
definitely-
cucumber. I enjoy it.
we had. I mean, the best was the Rockstar
Yes.
cucumber lime energy drink.
Right. Okay. Yeah, I remember that.
Discontinued terribly.
If any listeners out there knows where to get some,
Yeah.
or already has some,
Black
you can send
market
it to us.
Cucumber.
That'd be sweet.
Or just bring it to you.
Yeah. Yeah. Do it.
Now the cucumber vodka
Yeah.
was it. I mean, it tasted like cucumber, but it was not good.
Bought some lime vodka. It's pretty good.
Well, that seems easier.
Yeah.
What I taste in this is more of the basil. So I have a
Basil.
it's a bit odd.
The smell reminds me of a Halfweizen. The smell I don't like.
I like the full Weizen.
Oh, the full Weizen, do you?
Wolfeisen.
The full Weizen.
None of this half Heisen bullshit.
And
Or any of that poly material cotton Heisen. Woolheisen.
I don't want any.
That's what we do. We just add Heisen to words and it becomes German
Yeah.
or
Yeah.
Belgian or whatever it is.
Mix your threads.
Putty Heisen.
You don't want it. And then I kind of get, for some reason, I'm getting a grapefruity kind of thing. I don't know if that's juniper berries because I don't know what a juniper berry tastes like. But hey, if you like tasting weird beers, I'd say go for this one. It's not offensive.
No.
You have to tell me.
I wouldn't want to drink 6 of them, but
Yeah, see, I was gonna, like, does it leave a bad aftertaste? Is always
No.
the thing.
No, it doesn't leave
it's a little
that.
weird. But no, it's not like funky. It's not like a funk.
It's kind of like a Heisen.
Yeah, a little bit of a Heisen.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I wouldn't be disrespected if somebody gave me this drink.
Really?
Wouldn't
Yeah.
be angry.
No.
I might be a little confused.
Yeah.
This is right. Because I'm not a fan. I mean, I like cucumbers.
Yeah.
They're great in salads. And when they turn into pickles, they're not bad either, unless somebody fucks them up with the dill stuff. But
You don't like the dill?
No.
You like the butter spread?
well, I do eat I do like the that whatever it's called. But
Bread and butter.
Yeah, the bread and butter. Yeah,
That's
sorry.
it. That's it. And and the gherkins, like the gherkins.
What about
sweet.
the kosher dill? You don't like a nice fat kosher dill, one that you can barely get your hand around?
When I say the word dill,
When you say the word kosher?
no,
Oh. Okay.
Dave, how do you feel about kosher. How do you feel about Jews? Is what I'm asking.
I think them
Do
rabbis.
you love God's people?
Yeah, man. I think
God's
them,
chosen.
them rabbis that fly around to
He's
to,
getting really fidgety right
bless
now.
the pallets of like cornmeal and sugar and all
Yeah.
that stuff. They pay them rabbis big dollar.
Yeah, that's crazy, man.
They get to fly around the country, Yamahaba,
Man.
Arabaha, whatever that stuff is. they
About
do.
how much you think they get paid for that?
I know they fly first class.
Large bags of gold.
I think I'm going to become a rabbi.
Good.
It's a
Yeah.
long. I'm going to say that's a very involved process. I think you have to like memorize the whole Torah, some shit.
You'd have
like,
to change your name like to Patrick Bustaheisen.
Bustaheisen.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, yeah.
I mean,
I can probably do it.
I think
serious-
Or just Goldberg.
yeah.
Yeah.
I think
Goldberg.
Busta Hyman sounds Jewish
Busta
enough.
Heisen. Heisen.
Busta, just go Busta Hyman. Just be done with it.
Heisen.
I think what Dave was trying to say is the Jews are the good minority. That's what he was getting at.
I don't see what. Yeah.
Let's see how
So
many
terrible.
people we can both offend and confuse. Can we offend and also confuse you and make you like us in one statement?
Bumper sticker. I mean, there's a bumper sticker that maybe you've seen in our local area that says straight white Republican.
And proud of it.
Yeah. How else can I offend you today? Something to that effect. I thought, wow, that's ballsy, but funny.
I was one of those kids once.
Oh, you had too many bumper stickers.
Dad was a Republican, raised me listening to Rush Limbaugh. I know all about that.
Yeah, but that was back when it was okay. It wasn't as it wasn't as divisive to say you listen to Rush Limbaugh.
Yeah, it wasn't. Yeah, it wasn't. It was that.
It was a news show. It was like, yeah, you get some news. I mean, yeah, I'm sure it was still opinionated, but it wasn't as inflammatory, I don't think.
Well, honestly, Rush. I mean, like I say, I have a lot of respect for Rush, and he just hit his like 30 years on the air thing, and Trump actually called him on the air to congratulate him or whatever. But
Wow.
he's not really in the discussion the way he used to be. I mean, it's just he's kind of been passed by. Everything's
Yeah.
on. It's.
There's a little tax scandal involved. He was involved in.
Well,
And
nobody really. I don't think people really care about that. It's just that he's strict. He's talk radio, and that actual terrestrial over the airwaves talk radio it's just not
Yeah.
really a thing anymore. It's like holding on, and he's like one of those vestiges.
Oh,
I-
he's still doing that?
podcast of his show.
yeah, they started doing that, but it's like too late, man.
Yeah. I don't know why he never tried to become a talking head, have his own news show. I'm sure Fox News would have given him a show.
Well, he didn't know he was fucking huge, man.
I know. And maybe is that why? Like, oh, I'm too fat, I can't do it.
No, he had
He had live streams.
his
I
radio.
thought.
He had the biggest radio
huge as
show in the
in-
country.
Not
Right.
huge as in girth, Steve.
Oh.
No,
He takes up too much of the screen, okay?
Like, what?
That's so weird.
We're not on the same plane.
No.
Like, he's big. Yeah, I know he's big.
mansion in West Palm Beach and a private jet. I mean, that's
Yeah.
how rich he was. I don't know if he still is, but
Right.
he was the biggest radio show in the country at one point.
I mean, I remember back when.
Talking 90s.
Yeah. I mean, when it was the thing to be when you were in school to be in the Young Republicans.
Mhm.
So his show is still going?
Still going.
It's still
Okay.
going.
So no, he does some voice work on Rick and Morty and a couple of cartoon shows.
Mm-mm.
Was he
Does
really?
he?
What?
Yeah,
That's
he's the
stupid.
principal of the school.
Rush Limbaugh.
Principal of Vagina. Think it
No way.
Really?
Yeah.
That's
He was on
awesome.
Family Guy a couple times too.
That's
I feel
awesome.
I feel like that's so crazy.
Yeah, that seems so opposite. Like those guys that make.
Those guys seem so fucking liberal. And
Yeah.
I don't know.
What are
don't
they?
even-
Are they like open-minded and accepting of other people and their views? Oh, this is bullshit.
What were you even talking about?
We went from cucumbers to being Jewish.
I think you were introducing everybody.
No, I wasn't doing that at all.
Oh, okay.
I didn't do
You
that.
did go to well. You went to Dave. I thought that was well, you said Dave. How do you feel about Jews or something?
I did. I was just an actual question. I really wanted to know what Dave was going to say there.
Why did I answer it?
Since Nazi. Oh, that's what we were talking about. Yeah, it was how things have gone so far now, and as far as just being Republican now, the media wants to call you a fucking Nazi.
Yeah.
Where it was like the normal conversation back in the 90s when Rush Limbaugh was big was basically you had the left versus right kind of paradigm, and Democrats and Republicans, and you had your Fox News and CNN, and you still you still have that, but now you have the media pushing more and more this idea that if you are conservative, they're trying to link you to white nationalism and
Yeah.
Nazis and all this bullshit, when that is literally a minuscule part of the actual environment.
Yeah.
Like the KKK literally has like 3,000 members in the world.
It's 3,211.
You're the 11th there.
I'm just fact checking, bro.
Gotcha.
Fact checking.
But yeah, it's called. I can't completely define it, but the idea is the over. Have you heard the term the Overton window? And
Nah.
I don't know who. I'm guessing the guy that coined the term is Overton. I don't know, but the idea is if you look at society, what is the realm of acceptable speech? Like, where's the realm of where are the norms at? And the idea is that you have the left now is trying to push the Overton window all the way over to the left. So that you're just like a center person. You're outside of the window now, and you're an extremist.
Yeah, it's not like the window is closing or restricting or something. They're just like, take the window and move it over there. Now everything you think is wrong.
Right.
Yeah.
And this kind of links into a story I had thought about talking about, and I guess I will. There's a guy on YouTube. His channel is called The Quartering, and he's a video game guy. He plays Magic the Gathering. But he's kind of he says a lot of the same stuff I do. You know, he's against the social justice warrior bullshit that's going on, the politically correct shit. And he went to this gaming convention, you know, like a tabletop gaming convention, so D&D and Magic the Gathering, things like that. It's called Gen Con. It was like last week.
Yeah, that's usually a D&D thing.
Right. So he was at that thing, and one of the key speakers they had brought in was this woman named Anita Sarkeesian. Many of you have heard her name. She has a company called Feminist Frequency, and she makes honestly bullshit videos, cherry picking video games to show how sexist they are and how much. And that's the kind of thing she does. It's very. I mean, look, if you want to be a feminist, great, but she fucking straight up lies in her videos and creates these narratives of like a Hitman. You ever seen the Hitman series?
Yeah, I've played them.
Yeah, so she did this video where trying to say that the whole point of this mission was to kill strippers, when actually the point was took place in a strip club, and since you can kill anybody in the game, if you wanted to, you could kill a stripper.
Right, but you're rewarded. You're rewarded for not being seen and not killing anybody you're not supposed to. You're rewarded for that. You're not rewarded for killing the strippers.
She said the opposite. She said the point was to do that. So that, just to give you an idea of what she does.
Yeah.
He was invited to Gen Con this year. This guy Jeremy, who's really a mild-mannered kind of dude to me. I've said more mean shit on this show than he's ever said, honestly. But he tweeted out saying, why would Gen Con invite one of the most divisive, inflammatory people when there are so many amazing people that are in the Dungeons and Dragons tabletop world that would make so much more sense, right? That's all he said. And he spent a lot of money to get out there, get a hotel room right in downtown. It was in Indianapolis. He was at a bar the very first night and was standing there. He had a bunch of drinks, was talking with people, whatever. He was outside the front door of a bar, kind of in the patio area. He had this guy walk up and say, "Are you Jeremy Hambley?" and he thought it was a fan.
Mm-hmm.
And he turned around to shake the guy's hand, and immediately the guy attacked him. And
What?
hit him in the back of the head, basically pushed him down, and was beating the fuck out of him. It took like 3 people to pull the guy off, and basically Jeremy like stumbled into the bar, and then somebody blocked the guy, and the guy apparently the whole time was yelling, "I'm gonna fucking kill you." And then he got so mad he punched a window and shattered the window.
Oh my God.
And apparently, I mean, they found out who the guy ran off, and they had enough witnesses to figure out who the guy is, and he's right now, literally today, pressed charges, and the guy's going to go to jail. But this is a guy that online Twitter was saying there were pictures of him on his Twitter feed saying with a shirt that said I punch Nazis.
Oh, so the connection is made.
And these people, here's the problem. These people think criticism and disagreement is a form of harassment. Like if you disagree with a quote oppressed minority, if you disagree with a feminist being at a place, well, that's not just harassment. You were actually committing violence. It's a verbal assault.
Yes, and I will.
And now you're a Nazi, and I can now justify attacking you because you are hurtful to people, and you have all these people defending this political violence, which is it's terrorism.
Yeah, right.
And even Gen Con, he is. People have been talking about this. They know it happened, and Gen Con has completely ignored it. They tried to bury it. People would bring it up on their forums and shit, and they would lock people out. Literally, and they literally turn their head to this kind of political violence. And meanwhile, all of us so-called Nazis are saying nothing but we don't want violence. If somebody came out and punched Anita Sarkeesian, I would be speaking about that too. Like that does not need to happen. We don't want that to happen.
No punching. No punching.
I think the way that I hate to just say the media, but the way that the media portrays things, it's as if every tiny issue is this huge matter that, like, whatever the change is going to be that they're talking about, somebody wants to do this, or Trump wants to do that. Like, this is definitely going to happen, and this is the extreme negative impact that it's going to have on your life. So you need to do everything you can to stop this, and that means punching Nazis.
I mean, we've talked about this before. It's whatever the outrage is at the moment. I mean, I just long for the day when we can get to a dialogue instead of a diatribe.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah.
But the thing is, a lot of these people don't believe in dialogue.
No.
They don't do it. They don't believe in it because in their mindset, if I'm trying to have a dialogue with you, that's just a power play I'm making. I'm just trying to get one over on you. And really, whatever I say is it's just me trying to put one over on you. And I'm not actually genuine in my desire to have a discussion or a debate. I'm just trying to come against you with my power and my will to overcome you. So therefore, the only thing you can do now is then oppose me rather than just talking to me.
I think most people have never experienced a debate that they were willing to change their mind on. They don't know what that's like. They think every debate ends with both people still having the exact same view that they had. They just had an argument and then they go their separate ways, not realizing that what debate is for. You present your side, I present my side. Maybe we have things that agree. Maybe I present my side in such a way that you're like, "Oh, I hadn't thought of that. Maybe I'm going to change my position a little bit." Most people have no experience with that.
Yes. Yeah, I mean, a good example of that, and I try to find people like this that, I agree with. I people that irritate me a little bit. Like I agree with some things, and then some other things I don't like. I like listening to people like that because me thinking about things, and there's a good example of a debate where Ben Shapiro, he's a Orthodox Jewish conservative guy, he had Sam Harris on his show. And they're kind of friends now, but I agree in political terms more with Ben Shapiro in a lot of things, but I agree with Sam Harris when it comes more to religion and philosophy, and science and things. But they're both really smart and they have an interesting discussion. You can hear both sides, and and think about it. Just because somebody has such a fundamental disagreement with you, it doesn't mean that. It definitely doesn't mean they're stupid, and it doesn't mean that they might not have something that you want to hear.
I don't know. I just think you're fucking wrong.
Thanks for finally telling me how you really feel. Dave 70, Crosstown Beano. How you doing?
I'm doing good. I'm here.
Dave, I was on Dave's stream this morning.
Yeah. You're actually awake? Oh, he gets up real early. You stay up real late.
Yeah, I was even later last night. It was like 7 in the morning.
Yeah.
It was.
Yeah, it was fun. Dave's funny. It was a good time. Hey, you guys here? Dave's funny.
Dave is hilarious.
That comedy school's finally paid off.
I told you guys. Shout out to my peeps in the clown college, yo. Snappy, Philly, Louie, Chumsy.
Honky,
Chumsy.
Love you.
Squeezy.
All these years we made fun of him for carrying that rubber chicken around.
That's right. You're fit.
Who's the clown now?
Don't fuck with Mr. Fitz.
Patrick Everett.
So,
How you doing?
good. It's turned 29 Wednesday. Yeah.
Now you can start building up for the 30 crisis.
The 30 crisis of where your body just starts falling apart.
No, it's just most people get real.
40.
Most people just get real bummed out
Oh.
when they
Hey,
turn 30.
my 30th birthday, and I think Dave was there for this. Me, Dave, and Todd hanging out, and Todd was like, he's like, I guarantee it. I guarantee when you hit 30,
That's funny.
you're gonna try to fart and you're gonna shit yourself.
Yeah.
There's nothing you can do about it. I'm like, Todd, that's not gonna happen.
Yeah.
I'm not. My anus is not gonna fall apart in this week. Like,
At the stroke of midnight, Nathan farted.
You know?
I think that's Todd's way of saying that that's what happened to him.
Oh, I'm
That's
sure.
not what he thinks happened to him. It probably is that 12-pack of beer that's really the problem.
No, that's your fault, Dave.
That's right. That's right.
Hasn't he
He's
said he
drinking
doesn't
because of
trust a
me.
man that hasn't shit himself or something like that?
I could see him saying that.
I want to say he said that one time.
That, but
Yeah.
I'm not sure he said that, but I could see him.
I can see him saying, well, yeah, I mean, I don't trust a man that says they've never shat themselves because they're lying.
Well, I don't know about
I don't
that.
remember ever shitting myself.
Oh, come on. You never been in a Home Depot parking lot?
Oh, man. Shit happens.
No, I can verify that this is Todd's experience because we were at work one day standing there doing some, like, there's like 4 of us. And like Todd literally at his face turns red and his like eyes bug out of his face. He goes, oh, that wasn't a fart. And then he takes off. He takes off down the hall. And I'm like, yep.
Oh, man. It's a good thing he doesn't listen.
Todd's never
We
listened
wouldn't even know how to listen.
No.
It was funny. We were talking about streaming one night, I think, and who were we playing with? This happened recently. It was either Steve-O or Nathan, or I think it was Steve-O. We were talking about streaming,
Oh, yeah.
and he was like, "How do you do that?" And I said, "Well, you got to log in." And Steve-O just cuts me off and goes, "He's lost right there. The minute you have to log into a web page, he's done."
He's going to have to know his username and password.
I was there with him that day. He was sending his Xbox One. That thing, hours.
Yeah.
And he kept calling Microsoft. He's like, "Fuck you guys."
Yeah, he could not accept that he just didn't know his password. And but of course he also doesn't have a method by which to recover or change his password because he doesn't know the password to his email.
Which was an old ass email that he didn't have anymore.
Yeah.
And he gets so mad because they should just know it's him. It's just some fucking guy on the other end of the phone.
Don't y'all know Shonuff's all around this town?
He just keeps getting more and more enraged that you don't know who I am. No, I have no fucking clue. No, sir, I have no clue who you are.
And he's like, I think I'm gonna go buy a PS4 instead. Thanks, Microsoft.
When he was streaming the other day, oh gosh, I'm yawning. His stream was set up for teen,
Yeah.
and I told him
That's who you said, Todd. That doesn't mean looking for teens.
That's right. It's teen
It means
friendly.
something totally different.
And I'm trying to warn him that you can get in trouble. There's nothing that you do is teen friendly. and he goes, well, how do I do that? And that's when we had said log in and whatnot. Well, he did remember his Xbox password.
I think he wrote it down.
Well,
write it down, stick it on the wall.
We
Yep.
did it from my phone. I pulled my phone out because mine was he could. Yeah, time. I said, now just put it in and do it, and sure enough, he changed it. So he is 18 plus stream if he does stream his cursing Rocket League game.
That's good. Steve Marr, how are you doing? We're late intros today.
I am now a Tesla stockholder.
Oh shit!
Oh, you got into that?
What?
From
Yeah.
what I've been reading here and there, that makes me worry.
It's a good time to buy.
I
Yeah,
mean,
it's a good time to buy. So have you guys ever heard of an app called Stash?
Yeah, I actually got into that last week.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, Brad texted me because of the Elon tweet about going private, and so I decided to look into it. Of course, I didn't know what the hell he was talking about. He sent me this text. He sent me a link to the app in the App Store, and then just said, "Yeah, Elon said he's thinking about going private, 420 a share." And I'm like, "Well, what the fuck good does that do me if he's going private?" But for anyone, I'm sure everyone out there knows about it, but Elon Musk is talking about taking Tesla private again. It's a publicly traded stock, and he said that he wants to pay $400 per share to anybody that is holding shares, which is more than the stock has ever been worth, right? It's not. Has it ever gone up that high?
I don't know. I don't
know.
pay
I haven't
attention.
Well,
checked in.
So it got me like, okay, well, now's the time. If I can afford to buy any, then now would be the time to do it, because here maybe in a couple of weeks you're going to get whatever it is, 5% or whatever more. So signed up for Stash, and it's a pretty cool thing. So you load in some money. I put in $100, and then you can allocate portions of that money to whatever stocks you want. You can choose individual companies if you want to, but if you're not as knowledgeable on whatever category, they have categories already built. Like they have it like Internet Tycoon one, which is like Amazon, Netflix. Let's see what else is there. Internet Titans has.
Yeah, they can base it off your interest on Stash.
Yeah, it's like Amazon, Facebook, Netflix, Alphabet, which is Google, Salesforce, PayPal, eBay. They have one that I chose to buy called Defending America. It's all these military type contractors like Boeing, Lockheed, Northrop Grumman, Rockwell Collins, stuff like that. And so you're investing in
industrial complex now.
well because one because those are companies that are involved in space, and I not only am interested in space, but I happen to think that in the coming decades, anybody that's involved in space is going to be growing. Not of course there's going to be some failing companies, but I don't have the option to invest directly in SpaceX, so I'll invest in these other companies that I think are also going to do well. But anyway, it's a cool app. You don't have to, like I always thought, well, I don't even have enough to buy one Tesla share, but you don't have to. You can buy them in portions. So
Yeah.
I bought
Yeah.
$75 of Tesla stock, and then like $10 here and $5 there in these other categories.
That's cool. I gotta try that.
Yeah,
it's-
man, it's a cool way to like. I just took some money out of my savings account and put it in there.
Still savings.
Yeah, you're still saving. You might, it might go down a little bit, but as long as you leave it in there, you're probably going to get a better return. You're definitely going to get a better return than your savings account. I get
I'm-
2 pennies per year on my savings account.
You gentlemen are in the right time of your life.
Mm-hmm.
And I know I sound like a dad here, but if you do it now, I mean, you're better off.
Yeah,
There are many more years to come, and you got a little room too to to be a little aggressive with the growth, of your portfolio and take a little more risk because you've got a little more time.
Yeah.
Sounds good. I like it.
And so, yeah, I mean, that's kind of that's still I'm interested. I'm gonna check that out. I mean, for what I did, I mean, all the money that I did have, I just buy the stuff that I know will do well. I mean, when I bought Facebook, and that kid's crazy for Facebook, man. I was like, this Facebook thing. This is going to go somewhere.
Yeah.
Pay attention to what the kids are doing.
Pay attention to what the kids are doing. What are the commercials on?
I remember that's what my dad would do with me.
They're
like, oh, you're really into those stuff, huh?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and then you buy stock in that.
there
son.
There is a category for gaming companies too. So
Yeah,
you could just invest in just all gaming companies.
I blew the GameStop guy's mind the other day when I was there.
Oh, I'm glad you continued that sentence. I should have interrupted you.
That's funny.
Oh, it would have been perfect.
No, we were talking about Destiny. He used to be a real big Destiny player, and I said, do you play Destiny much anymore? And he said, well, no. And he started talking about the cosmetic purchases that you get in the game. And then that got us talking about the Battlefront fiasco with EA. So you got EA and Activision. And I said, well, you should just buy stock in the company. And then you just, you can be annoyed at the process, but you win either way.
Yeah.
And, he just kind of laughed and shook his head. I said, well, that's what I did. I said, just not so. Did you really? Really? Is that what you did? Huh? And I was like, yeah. And that's kind of the reason. I mean, when that Battlefield stock EA went down, it was, when they had that little nonsense there.
Well, is Rockstar traded? Are they?
I don't know.
Because Red Dead Redemption 2 is coming out in
big thing.
It's going to be fucking awesome.
Yeah.
If you've seen that new trailer that came out.
And just because Rockstar,
it's going to be huge.
They still may be owned by someone else. Just like Bungie makes that, like Activision owns them.
Yeah.
So, it may be.
It might be 2K. And I'm saying that.
You could Google it.
Here's a little tip about the Tesla thing, just to wrap that up. Elon sent an email out to his employees, but then he also shared it publicly. Part of that email explained how any current shareholder is going to have the option to hold on to their shares if they want to. So you could get in now on Tesla, and then no one ever will be able to buy it again, but you have that, and you'll have it until you sell it. And I imagine from that point on, the only place you could sell it to would be back to Tesla. So if you wanted to get it and then sit on it for years, you may not think that Tesla is going to be as big as Ford, but it's definitely going to get bigger than what it is now.
You don't think they're not about to crash and burn? Have you had that thought?
Even if they crash and burn, they owe so much money to the banks. Somebody's going to take care of that and take that debt because there's value there. They didn't loan money to them because who's going to buy a rocket? NASA or Yuri Vendrupov?
Amazon.
Anybody.
Yeah, but
Amazon.
Tesla and SpaceX were two different things.
Yeah, they're two different
Right.
companies.
I mean, they're just in the Boring Company, too. I would imagine there's some clever accounting that one company owns stock in another company, which owns stock in the other company, almost like a little vicious circle there. But I don't really know. Honestly, I don't know.
Is it like once you get to if you start making so much money, is it you have to go public? Or
I don't
is it
think so.
No,
SpaceX is a privately traded company.
Okay.
SpaceX is private, and they don't plan on ever going private until they've established some kind of colony on Mars, some kind of presence on Mars.
Gotcha.
Because there's too much fluctuation. That's Elon's words. He's like, there's too much fluctuation in the market due to things that happen in space, and they don't want to be subject to the market's risk aversion. Like if they had a mishap or a rocket failure, then everybody pulls out their stocks, and then they're fucked.
Sounds like the punchline to a joke. Like at some point, Elon Musk was sitting in a bar and he was talking to somebody about investing in SpaceX, and the guy was like, "I'll invest in SpaceX when you're on Mars."
And it's kind of funny we're talking about the stock. I know we're wrapping that up, but there was another big milestone this week, or maybe it was last week, that we now have the first $1 trillion market value company.
Oh.
Who?
Talking
Wait. Who is it? Who?
Apple.
Oh, it's Apple.
Yeah.
I thought we were gonna have a fun game where we all guess who it was.
Oh,
Oh no, I just ruined it. I even saw a tweet. You saw that tweet last week where the cords were all broken,
Yeah.
and you retweeted it and sent out that why they're
I told
a
her
$1
she
trillion
wasn't
company.
supposed to chew on them. Yeah. That's right.
And I looked down in Rochelle's cable for her iPhones just like that, and I took a picture and I retweeted it. So that's kind of cool. And Apple was one of those wins too. Google was a win where I only bought 1 share and ended up with 7,
Oh wow.
and then sold 2.
Well, hey, I got a fucking beef with Apple. I got a beef with Apple. I got a beef with YouTube, Spotify, Google.
Because you hate the
oh,
internet.
before you get on that, it is not Rush Limbaugh who plays.
No.
It's this other dude. But there is a Reddit thread that popped up saying, "Am I the only one who thinks Principal Vagina sounds like Rush
Oh,
Limbaugh?"
okay.
Oh.
The guy who does it, his name is Phil Hendry.
Okay.
But
Good old Phil.
yeah, but Rush Limbaugh is on Family Guy though, as
Oh, he
different
has it.
characters
Okay,
and stuff
okay.
like that.
That it's funny that you say that. You said to beef with the internet, and that's kind of my point. Well, these are the companies that all dumped Alex Jones from their services all within 24 hours this week.
Come on, Alex Jones.
Huh?
What was that, Steve?
I'm trying to I don't know how, I'm like good. He's spewing false information, but also free speech.
Yeah. I mean,
Which
well,
He can still pay for a billboard.
well, here's the thing.
yeah, but you can't download his podcast from the podcast app, probably,
Yeah.
right?
You can't. No. Yeah, all this stuff. Here's the thing. Okay, here's the thing. And I get it, and I'm all about. Hey, it's your company. You can do what you want in your company. But the thing is, when you have somehow you have all of these independent companies that basically control the internet. We have right now the internet is being controlled by a small area of California, right?
Mm-hmm.
All these companies are in this part of California, Silicon Valley, and all in one day, they all drop Alex Jones, and most of them, they have different reasons. They cite hate speech, which I listened to him for years. It's been a while. I don't really listen to him much now. I go on his website more than anything just to see what the stories are on there. But hate speech is not. He rants. He rants a lot. He'll report news. He rants. He inserts his theories, his conspiracy theories on what's going on. But calling what he does hate speech to me is of course I don't really believe in the. I mean, there is hateful speech, but I don't believe that should be outlawed. But my point is, at what point do we start to look at when you have these companies that are so huge and they have so much power and influence? At what point do we say you're more like a utility than a company?
Yeah,
Yeah. And somebody said on the internet, it's like, well, what if one day, in the U.S. you have the right, you have freedom of travel, you can travel where you want in the U.S., but what if all the car companies decided that they didn't want to sell you a car? Like, what if that
or they don't want your car going to Minnesota?
Yeah, it's like, well, no, it's like, what's the thing? It's their service.
You can't drive to Minnesota. Your car shuts off if you cross Minnesota state line.
They're selling a product. You have that freedom, but we don't. We decided all of us together one day. Because of you have this kind of political ideology that we don't like. We're just not going to sell that to you. So.
I don't know.
You don't like that analogy? Well, analogies are never very good, but
we're looking at both spectrums here. We're looking at free speech, and we're also looking at the freedom to, do business where and how you want. Just like a cake maker doesn't want to make a cake for somebody who doesn't or doesn't want to put the words that you want on because of how they believe. The company has a right to protect its integrity of its logo. And if they feel that he is going to ruin their market value or give them heat. They don't want any part of that.
I don't.
But
I mean, it's part of the fearsome five: Google, Facebook, Microsoft, Apple, Amazon.
But at what point, when you have these companies that literally rule the internet, like they dominate to such a huge degree, at what point do we say you have too much power and you should not be doing, like, this is a problem?
When you are willing to restrict someone's freedom of speech, that's when you can restrict the free market economy.
So wait.
Well,
Are you saying the freedom of speech is protecting like Apple and Facebook and stuff in this situation?
What I'm saying is, I'm looking at two sides here. You got the issue of freedom of speech, which he should be able to say whatever the hell he wants to, whenever the hell he wants to.
Mm-hmm.
But these guys that offer these platforms also care about the employees that they pay, that they hire, that they're shareholders. You know, that all of these things, they have a right to protect that too. And if they feel like he's a bad nut, then they ain't going to do it. It's just like if you've had 15 accidents, it's going to be really hard finding insurance.
I don't know, because like it's more to me, it's like something like Firefox banning you from going to a certain website, because I don't see any content that I view through my browser. I would never blame on Firefox, you know, for the websites that I'm visiting. I would never blame Apple for the podcasts that come through.
Right.
I know AT&T for a while, they blocked 4chan from anybody's phones. They did that for a year or so.
Really?
Yeah.
That's huge.
Yeah, that is. I mean, and 4chan has been responsible, or the people of 4chan have been responsible for some fucked up shit.
We love 4chan.
Right.
Or at least encouraging, you know, pushing somebody over the edge to do something that they're threatening.
Yeah,
online.
they've done bad, they've done good, but yeah.
I know you have a rhetorical question. That's what you're saying.
I'm on both minds. You know what I mean? Like, I'm on both sides. I see both sides of it, but you know, I do start to see at some point when you have going back to the punch a Nazi thing, when you have this conversation being controlled to such a degree to where you have, in a sense, just normal everyday people being pushed at with such extreme propaganda that they're punching people who are simply like mild conservative, like not even a hardcore conservative right winger, just somebody that like criticized a feminist one time. There's a problem with the dialogue going on and how things are being pushed around to manipulate people into this kind of fucking hyper polarized, crazy kind of, and why they think this is a good idea, why these people are doing this, I have no idea. And you almost feel like they're caught in it too. I mean, they're like, no, there really are Nazis everywhere. You start to think like, I mean, they're all just really think this.
Mass paranoia.
And these people that, like I say, they all live in their little insulated fucking, you know,
huts.
hippie pot smoking.
They're
fucking,
safety yurts.
Yeah. Safety yurts. They're drinking mojitos while wearing scarves, and they're talking about how much they're reminiscing at how much they fucking loved Obama, and all of them just agree with each other, and they never driven to places like the South down, you know, around here where you have people that actually like Trump, but you also have people that hate Trump. Like, we all know people on both sides of that, and we can all still be friends.
Right.
And a lot of these people don't have that. They're just like, I've never. Like, a fucking Mila Kunis was, Ben Shapiro was talking about this. He's like, Mila Kunis was interviewed, and somebody asked her about abortion, like pro-choice and, you know, versus pro-life and stuff. And she was like, I've never met anybody that was pro-life. she never met anybody that was not pro-choice.
She's never met anybody that, like, was ever not like, oh yeah, if I get pregnant, I'll just have an abortion.
Yes,
like, you never met anybody that didn't feel that way about it.
Yeah. I mean, I don't think, you know, it's sour grapes. They didn't play to the base, and
I wonder what I don't think
Go outside of their base, and that's why
Trump
they
has
didn't get.
driven them crazy.
Well,
They've
yeah.
gone crazy. Yeah.
I don't.
What?
Oh, go ahead.
Oh, you sure? Oh, was Alex Jones? Was he the one that brought to the mainstream about the Pizzagate scandal?
No,
I thought he did.
Well, he talked about it at the time for a little bit and then completely backed off it. He really did, because I remember listening to him specifically on that, and he started to criticize it because what happened was it was really more of a YouTube, Reddit kind of thing, and I think probably 4chan too. Like these kind of groups on the internet started to push this thing out. And he kind of caught on to some of it, and he did have some crazy rants, but he then completely pulled back, mainly because he was getting sued. He was going to be sued because there was a story where that one pizza shop that he mentioned in one of his rants, somebody walked in there with a gun saying, "Where are the I'm going to save the kids," basically, and he got blamed for that, and he completely backed off of that.
Yeah. So I was saying that's probably one of the reasons why those companies were wanting him off their platforms.
Well, they never. But the thing is, they never specifically. None of them actually cited a specific.
Oh, okay.
Here's something you said. They just cited, "Oh, we have a policy against hate speech," or
It's bad
whatever
PR.
language.
It's just bad PR.
But it's not. It's like.
It's whatever they feel is bad PR.
But-
That's what.
But what I'm
It's their
saying,
perception
it's
is
kind of
reality.
like what. Well, everybody's perception is reality. But what I'm saying is like what Steve-O said, like. They're just platforms where people get whatever they want. Like he was talking about Firefox. Like if I go on a browser and I go on iTunes and I see some shit I don't like, don't buy it. Don't listen. Why does that taint that platform?
And what are you accomplishing? Because really all they're going to do is create a void for other crazy like-minded conspiracy theorists to come in and fill that void. Like it's whack-a-mole. You can remove the one that just got too big, but you're not changing anybody's mind. It's not like, oh, okay, that's it. We killed all the conspiracy theorists that spout bullshit all day.
Part of what ended happening is that a lot of people were pushed to his show, and it was funny. Like iTunes, they removed his podcast from the podcast app, but left his app in the App Store, and after that, his app went up to number 1. And I was just like, why do you even?
It's the internet. Like, unless and we can bring net neutrality into this. Unless you want to completely remove net neutrality, which supposedly the internet companies don't. I don't know. Some of them fall in different places, but that's what you're doing. You're taking away the freedom of the internet, even though you're just taking away this one guy. That's still this. It's the same thing. If I want to watch out, even if I just want to watch him out of curiosity, I should be able to do it.
That is true. Did you see that clip from Alex Jones? No? Well, you can't do it on Starbucks Wi-Fi. That would suck. Because you could. You could essentially, if Starbucks didn't like those kinds of things, they could restrict websites that, you even right down to putting the address in a blacklist, and it won't go there.
I used to, I will have a confession. I used to go to a torrenting site to get audiobooks to go because I was so poor and audiobooks can be so expensive, like $60 for an audiobook.
Yeah.
They're free at the library.
Yeah, I know, but that's okay.
If you have a CD player.
But there was one I used to use that if I tried to use my home internet, it was blocked. And I would have to shut off my Wi-Fi and use my phone would go through. My phone's internet would go through, but if I got on Charter or whatever, Comcast or whatever, it would block it. So
that's crazy.
They do that stuff.
Steve, did you say if you had a CD player?
Yeah. Do they give them on USB drives? What do they do?
That'd be sweet.
I've gotten audiobooks from the library here, and they're just, you get the case of CDs. It's like 10 CDs or 5 CDs or whatever it is. Why? What do you do?
some sweet knowledge.
What about CDs
Dude,
now?
if you use your library card, you can download the audiobooks onto your device.
That's what I'm doing tomorrow. Just getting a library card.
I've got a library card.
Yeah.
And all you do is just go to like the one app, what is it called? And you log in with your library ID.
Overdrive.
Overdrive, that's it. And you look at his
You can get
fucking
audiobook.
eyes, man. Look at his fucking eyes. These
Yeah,
mothers
get
are
audiobooks.
They
books.
only have limited numbers, so it's not like everybody.
Okay. Yeah. So it's still like, oh, we've only got 5 copies, even though it's the internet.
Right.
But
So you
yeah.
still have to check it out, and you have it for a certain
Or
amount
put
of
it
time.
on reserve or whatever. Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, that's
Yeah.
fine. There's a lot of shit out there. I'm sure that I would like.
Yeah,
You can
it's-
have it for 7, 14, or 21 days.
What if I owe my library a little bit of late fees?
I think
should
we.
take
I
care of
think
that.
we. I think we've discussed this. How long has this been?
What?
That forgiveness.
The amnesty.
The-
You got to look
the
for the
amnesty.
amnesty day where they forgive you.
Library amnesty.
Yeah.
Oh, the Blount County Library had no amnesty because I went in there one time to print some shit. I just needed to get some shit copied or printed or something.
You're in another state now by this time.
No. This was like a couple years ago. I needed to get something printed out for some reason, so I went to the library there in Maryville, and I go up to the counter and I'm like, yeah, I just need to get a card to get on the computer so I can print some stuff. She's like, okay, well, let me see your ID or whatever. And so she's punching stuff. She, you need to go over to that counter over there. And I'm like,
Yeah.
okay. And I go over there and they're like, yeah, to bring your account current, that'll be $120. And I was like, what? Because
Please.
like I don't know, probably about 7 years ago or 8 years ago, my girlfriend at the time and I had gone to the library and she wanted to get this book and this one was and it was whatever the woman was that wrote the Interview with the Vampire. You know, she got some Anne Rice.
Anne Rice.
Yeah, she's like, I got to get this and this. And it was like 4 or 5 books. And they start naming them off, and I'm like, I don't know these books. And then they said one. It was one of the Anne Rice books, and I was like, Carrie.
Found her number, like looked on Facebook or whatever, and like called her and be like, "You get down to the library right now.
Do you have those books?
$20."
Well, if you do decide to pay it, we could always run by and pay that. I mean, we could communicate, pay it for you there. You hook me up with
What's
some,
the balance on Stephen Marr's account?
Well,
here?
I have a library card here in Brevard County, and I do have a late fee, but it was just because I forgot for like a week to return something.
and
It's
you'll
not
never
much.
have a late fee again.
Huh? Oh yeah, because then it just like, oh no, you can't listen anymore, right? Like,
Yeah.
You're done.
Yeah.
Oh man, this is great, and I don't have to worry about like putting CDs in the CD. Oh man, reaching into the CD now. I'm driving, reaching across into the glove box.
What are you doing?
Like a barbarian.
Trying to,
What? You listen to audiobooks like an animal.
Yeah,
I gotta get to the next page.
Cassettes.
Scott
been
Kelly
doing
is waiting.
you've been doing this the whole time.
No, I've only listened to a couple audiobooks this way, and it's really annoying. I'd much rather have it on my phone for sure.
That's exactly how you do it. That's
Well-
how I've been doing it for over a year now.
I will say I did buy quite a bit of Harry Potter cassette tapes. audio.
Barry Hotter.
Barry
Barry
Otter.
Hodder.
That's a good porn dude's name.
Barry Otter.
I want to hear
Barry
an update
Hodder.
on this, Steve-O.
Yeah. Oh, I'm into it. What's it called? Overdrive.
Overdrive. It's free. And they actually have another app they're trying to push now,
Mhm.
which I'd probably check out just for shits and giggles. Overdrive's not bad, but they really want you to use another one.
Yeah, I saw that too.
Overdrive. Ebooks and audiobooks. Here we go. Downloading.
And then you download it and then just log in with your library card, and you'll be able to do it by the end of this episode.
Well,
Over-
I'm not going to do it now.
Send us some money.
That's right, Overdrive. Even though it's a free app and you don't really make any money off of it.
Yeah. Do they not have ads or anything in there? Do they embed ads into the audiobooks?
Never
Nope.
seen it. No.
No.
This
My
is
mom
insane.
uses it
Is
all
this
the
like?
time.
Is it government funded? What?
I mean, it's a library thing.
It's a
maybe.
library,
Yeah,
man.
Maybe it is.
Yeah.
As much as the government funds libraries, Steve is just
I'm
you're-
enamored, man.
Oh.
This can't work. This can't possibly work.
This can't work. It's too good to be true.
Yeah.
He's been using 8-tracks his whole life.
Do you have any idea what the adapter from 8-track to CD looks like?
It takes up the entire passenger.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah.
How would that even make any sense?
Sounds awful.
Like you have a machine, you put the 8-track in it, and it like plays and records that, and then it burns it to a CD, and then it plays the CD.
That's right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then you take the CD out, throw it away, and you do it again. You get another
Sounds terrible.
Crazy. I can't wait, buddy.
Yeah, this is awesome. I can't wait.
I'm gonna reach out to you.
Look at this. Look at this. His text that he sent forever ago just now came through.
Hey guys, I'm ready.
I'm ready. Any links?
I gotta see if I got it.
Hey, I'm ready to start the podcast, guys. If you guys are ready, anytime. Anytime now.
We were waiting on Steve-O for a while ago.
I got mine at 11:53 p.m. I'm ready. Any links?
Did we even bring this up at all?
No, we didn't.
No, okay.
Our listeners are not privy to Steve-O's nonsense.
Let's just blame Apple. Let's just blame Apple.
Yeah, we can.
$1 trillion.
I don't know if it'd be Apple, but okay.
AT&T.
Yeah, AT&T. We'll blame it on AT&T.
But, it's weird because when Nathan texted me, I texted him right back. It went right through.
Yeah. All right, so let's read. I'm going to read this text strand. You get what I'm saying before the show, and I say, I might be running late, and Nathan says, "Yup," and Patrick, and that's it. Yep. There's nothing after that.
We're all here just waiting on Steve-O.
Yes, and so then Nathan asked him, "Hey, where are you at?" Yeah. And
he sent me a text just to me, not the group text.
Right.
And
he said, "How's it going?" And then I said, "I'm ready. I texted y'all 15 minutes ago."
So, and then he starts this text with testing 1 2 3, like that's gonna work.
And it did. It went through.
Like, oh, okay. Yeah. That's why I text means nothing. So then Fancy Steve-O decides to screenshot us his text thread, which has his supposed text in there, which he kind of drew in.
I drew it with my finger.
Simultaneously screenshot ours to send it to him, and he's blaming us on Photoshop.
Yep.
Yeah.
Crazy how fast y'all were able to Photoshop my text out there. Most impressive.
Yeah. Steve-O it's Apple. It's unbelievable. Unbelievable.
It's unbelievable. So, guys, after the show, am going to go get to see my first Delta IV Heavy launch.
Oh, yeah?
And they are launching something pretty freaking cool.
Is it heavy?
It's so cool.
Is this what you want to talk about, Dave?
Yeah, it's all in Steve's wheelhouse.
Okay,
so.
Yeah.
Yeah, this is the Parker Solar Probe. They've been working on this apparently for 8 years, I believe. Yeah, 8 years they've been working on it. It's going to launch at 3:33 a.m. This is going to come out well after it launches, so that doesn't really matter. But
what are they launching now? You said
it's called the Parker Solar Probe. So it's actually a very small spacecraft, but they need a really big rocket to launch it because it takes a lot of energy. It actually takes a lot more energy to go to where they're going, which is within where's the distance? It's like 3.4 million miles. Let's see, 3.83 million miles from the sun. Now, for some reference, we are 93 million miles from the sun. So do the math. I don't know. That's some tiny percentage of the distance to the sun.
How close is Mercury?
Hey Siri.
About a block away.
Hey, I found my
Mercury to the sun.
Question. Stump Steve.
That's right. And it's gonna loop. It's gonna be the fastest.
Oh man.
Fastest spacecraft traveling ever. Man.
Yeah.
Let's see. It is okay. So Mercury is 29 million miles.
Okay, so way close.
So Mercury's like about a third as close. And yeah, so this is going way closer. So the whole idea is it's going to fly through the corona of the sun. And if you don't know what the corona is, like think about
It's
when you were
Yeah.
what?
Fucking winning.
What?
You said the corona of the sun. I said, and you were like, and if you don't know what it is, I said it's a bottle of beer.
It's a bottle of beer. It's great.
And
put a lime in it.
Lime.
So if you remember when you were a kid and you used to draw the sun, you would draw a circle with either some lines going out from it or some consummate V's going around it. That's the corona. It's the part that kind of shines out. And during a total solar eclipse, that's the part you see because the moon blocks out the actual physical sun, and then the corona is like spewing out around it. So that's the part they're gonna be flying through. And in order to do this, they have this. I think I'm just gonna go off memory. It's like 5 inches thick. This heat shield that must forever point towards the sun. Otherwise, the mission will be destroyed. The spacecraft will be destroyed. So it's going to fly through the corona, collect particles, and it's going to apparently answer questions that we've been wondering for decades about the structure of stars. Why is the corona so much hotter than the actual body of the sun? Like the corona is like millions of degrees, but the actual surface, not that there's a physical surface you could stand on, by the way. It's not even like lava, it's plasma. Apparently you would fall right into the sun if you were going straight towards it. But it's much cooler. I don't have the temperatures ahead of me, but it's like 500,000 degrees, but like the corona for some reason is like millions of degrees. So it's actually going to get there pretty quick. It's going to arrive for its first pass in November. And it's going to be using Venus to get closer. It actually has to use Venus to slow itself down. And I've played Kerbal, but not enough to know how really to do these gravity assists. I imagine you probably angle it so you fly out ahead of Venus, and so that Venus is pulling behind, like pulling you backwards, but it's not going to pull on you enough to actually pull you into Venus. It's just going to slow you down enough, and that's going to cause you to fall closer towards the sun. And it's going to make it's going to ultimately have 24 orbits, which each take 88 days. Roughly, because these orbits are changing all throughout the mission, but it's roughly 88 days per orbit, and during 7 of those orbits, it's going to be using Venus to help get its orbit even lower. So the first one's not going to be that really close 3.83 million miles. The first one will be just going. I'm looking at a diagram of what the orbit looks like. It's about halfway from the sun to Mercury. So what I say Mercury was 29 million miles. So we'll call it like 15 million miles. In November, it'll be 15 million miles from the sun.
Now, my understanding was they were using the rockets, the 3 of them, and it had a special solid booster as well. And this was the fastest space.
It doesn't have a solid booster.
My understanding from the video Scott Manley put up that it has a solid booster right behind the
okay, yeah.
And so, but this is going to be the fastest. It was going to use to get there. It was going to use Venus 4 times.
4 times. Just to get there.
Yeah, to get there the first time, it loops around Venus 4 times.
Mm-hmm.
To get there, and it's supposed to be traveling somewhere around 400,000 miles an hour.
430 million miles per hour. Or I'm sorry, 430,000 miles per hour.
So how close is this probe getting to the sun?
At its closest, it's going to be 3.83 million miles.
3.8. Okay.
So it's we're 93 million. So it's not a tenth. It's less than a tenth. It's less than it's less than 5%. So it's probably like 3 or 4% the distance from the sun.
Yeah.
And
close.
I don't, and I don't know how quickly we're gonna like hear anything that's cool. I mean, if you remember, Juno launched whenever it launched, and then, whenever it got there, we started seeing some really cool pictures. At least, this, the one devastating thing is that this spacecraft really can't have cameras. It doesn't have cameras because it can't have cameras. Because if it had a camera that was pointing at the sun, that camera would get fried.
Right.
Because it's too close.
Yeah.
So it's all going to be data, and I'm sure they'll come up with some cool visualizations of this is what we learned about the sun.
So is temperature reading that they're getting?
No, particles and everything. There's even a tail scoop on the back side of it that they're going to be gathering stuff from behind. They're looking at exactly what the corona is made of and everything that's blasting the solar wind. They're going to know what particulates make up the solar wind. And what's another cool, interesting fact is this Parker spacecraft is the first time that a named craft is going to be launched, and the person it's named after is actually still alive. He's 91 years old, and he's going to be attending. Maybe he's not 91, but he's really old. But he will be attending the launch tonight or tomorrow morning.
Yeah, he's going wassailing with us, actually.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Should definitely live stream that.
Yeah. So yeah, I'm hoping that it's like noticeably louder or noticeably brighter or something, but I don't know what to expect. It's going to be pretty cool. And in other semi-related news, I finally got approval to be a post submitter during launches on the SpaceX subreddit.
Oh shit!
Because I found out, I was like, I messaged the moderators and was like, hey, I'm just curious. I've been on the sub for a while, and I'm just curious what does it take to be able to post your photos during the launch? Because I see that obviously they have to be approved or whatever, but I think I'm ready to have some of my content posted, and they're like, oh yeah, no problem. Yeah, you just got to take great photos and let us know ahead of time that you'll definitely be on site for the launch, and we'll make you one of our 5 approved submitters, and you'll be able to you'll be able to submit 2 posts throughout the launch campaign. So I can do for the launch that's not tonight's launch, obviously this isn't SpaceX, but the next SpaceX launch, I'll be able to post my launch photo. And then hopefully, as long as I can be off work, I'll be able to take another time lapse of the booster coming in and post that.
Awesome. Wow.
Steve-O got super hard once he got that message back.
Yes, I did. Yeah.
You did, man.
And I thought it was really nice. He said, the first sentence was, he said, you just have to take great photos. And in parentheses, he said, but that's no problem for you.
Oh, winky face,
man.
Winky face.
Yeah, I'm pretty stoked. They're like, all right, well, cool. Now, from now on, whenever I know that I'm not gonna be at work, or if it's a night launch, I can rest assured I'm not gonna have to work. So I can just message them and I can get approval to be on there.
That's badass.
That's cool. Yeah, I'm really excited about that.
Sweet. Kudos.
That's cool. Well, I think that's a good place to end the show on a nice positive note. I like that. Happy to hear that. Obviously, Becca wasn't on this week, but hopefully she will be back next week, so you guys can get your gaming, get all of our gaming poetry fix.
Oh yeah.
It gives me one more week to think about questions for you guys.
Yeah, I stumped you once today, Steve.
I had forgotten about that.
I have one for Patrick.
I have one for Patrick.
One for Steve-O, and I had one for Becca.
Okay.
And I was on the fence with one but I did my homework.
Oh yeah.
I didn't want to get in trouble. I mean, I was close. I was on the fence with Nathan's, but and I had to Google something in order to ask Becca, so I asked it right. But that's right.
All right.
Yeah.
Pin a gold star for me, you fucktards.
I love that. It was awesome.
All right. Well, we would name the episode that if we could.
But Apple might kick us off.
Fucktard. Yeah,
I'll just
Apple
do
doesn't like that.
Pin
Hate speech.
That's
a
right.
golden star.
What was the other one thing that we said earlier? I thought that was funny.
Hate speech. What?
Pin a golden star on me.
Golden Star on me.
On me.
That's what you want it to be?
No, that's.
No, I
What?
like pin a golden
You were
star on
talking
me.
about I don't want that to come across.
No, we can't do that.
Oh, on me. Oh, I get it now.
Yeah,
Okay.
pin a golden star on me.
On my left arm.
Oh yeah, that's pretty funny.
Yeah.
I didn't get that. I was gone.
It's that damn
All right.
cucumber looker you've been on,
Yeah.
son.
The
Cucumber liquor.
Cucumber looker.
cool cumber. Cool cumber.
I'm
People
a
on, people on a reservation been going south on that all week long.
Yeah, I like the.
I'm a cucumber.
Not kosher.
No, definitely not.
No. So many hops.
What? You have to hop to make that?
Yes.
That would get tiring.
Rabbits
I know.
are definitely not kosher.
No.
All right, thank you everyone. Thank you to Haywood Banks for our theme song.
Leave 5-star review on iTunes and support us on Patreon.
We always like that.
Yeah.
If you would like to leave us a voicemail, suggestion, tell us to fuck off, call 865-316-6955.
Or the other number.
865 316 69 69 55. Please and thank you.
Yeah. Thank you, David. Thank you.
This is